Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. What I have here is a military surplus product. By the way, this is the Outdoor Gear Review. My name is Luke. This is the United States Marine Corps Combat 2 tent, and this episode is all about the setup process. This is a series that I call Before You Buy. This is information that you need to know before you buy this product. How easy, how complex is it to set up? Are there any issues that you need to be aware of? In this episode, we will go over the setup process step by step, and I will share my thoughts about the setup process of this tent. To start off here, folks, you could use a ground sheet. I'm going to. The company does make a ground sheet that you can buy, but unfortunately, I don't have one. So I'm going to use my own lightweight ground sheet. Just in case you do not know, the purpose of a ground sheet is to protect the bottom of the tent. Also, it helps with keeping it cleaner, which is a huge benefit. With the ground sheet down, let's go ahead and separate the components of this tent. So here's the basic component breakdown. You have the body, you have the fly storage bag, you have the poles, tent stakes, and the storage bag. Once you have the components separated, go ahead and focus on the body. Take it and lay it flat upon the ground. Unfold it. With the body unfolded, you need to decide whether or not you want to stake it out, because you could do so now or do so later. If it's windy, I would go ahead and stake out one side. I would leave the other side unstaked. And that's because you have to have 3 poles to set up this tent. And the poles go through sleeves that go across the body. To make things nice and easy, I would only stake out one side to begin with. Here are the 3 poles, my friends. Let's go ahead and insert these through the sleeves. As I mentioned before, with this tent, there are 3 sleeves for the 3 poles. Luckily, these sleeves are fairly easy to follow here. So inserting the poles and running them all the way through is fairly easy. There are a few gaps that you have to pay attention to, but everything makes sense here. As it stands right now, I have 2 of the 3 poles in. What you want to do is slide the poles in to begin with. Don't begin to erect the tent until you have all 3 poles in their sleeves. Now that we have the poles seated in their sleeves, let's go ahead and attach them to the grommets at the end. Put them in the grommets furthest from the tent. You will see that there are actually 2 grommets with these connectors. Always go to the one on the outer edge. And if you have the tent set up for a long period of time and the materials stretch, then you can move to the inner. Once you have the poles seated in their grommets, go ahead and begin erecting the tent. Now, my friends, it is time to stake out this tent. Go ahead and stake out the body. We will do the fly in just a minute. With the fly, this is reversible. So you have the camo side and you have the coyote brown side. So pick the side that you want, then you can throw this over the body. To begin this process, start at one side, buckle in the fly, connect the grommet in the center, and then connect the other buckle. Pull the fly back and begin connecting the pieces of Velcro to the poles. Every section of exposed pole will have Velcro wrapped around it. That's connecting the fly to the body. In fair conditions, everyone, you do not have to attach the Velcro straps. In windy conditions, you definitely should. And from there, folks, we're almost done. Go to the other side, connect the buckles, secure in the center. Now, my friends, let's stake out the doors. Once the doors are staked out, go ahead and pull the fly tight around the body. Make all of your final adjustments. Now that I have the tent set up, I want you all to focus on the fly itself and also the shape of the body. You can see here with this door, it's rather straight and flat. But on this side, you have the pole that arches over. That means that you have to be careful when putting the fly on. You have to make sure that with this arch, you have this seam that goes along with it. Otherwise, the fly will not fit correctly. So there you go, my friends. That is how you set up the Combat 2 tent. All in all, this is not the easiest process. First off, when it comes to sliding the poles through the sleeves, it's a little bit of a nightmare. Because of the gaps that are present on the body, it's not a smooth slide all the way through. You have to slide it through, then you have to go to that gap, slide it through, go to the other gap, slide it through. So it does take some time. If you're setting this tent up in the rain, you have the poles getting wet going through those sleeves, it's a little bit of a nightmare. They can get even more sticky, and it can be even harder to slide them through. That aspect alone adds quite a bit of time to setting up this tent. Next, when it comes to the fly, you have to get the orientation correct. Also, in windy situations, you have to connect those Velcro straps, basically connecting the fly to the body. That takes more time. There's a lot of those Velcro straps, and it can be confusing. So my friends, that is that. On the scale of difficulty, 1 being super simple, 10 being very difficult, this is a good 5-6. It takes quite a bit of time to set this up, and also you have to pay attention. There are plenty of steps here that you could mess up on that would require you to go back and to fix it. So the setup process of this, it takes a while. I think if you're extremely proficient with the setup process, 10 to 15 minutes of setup, that makes sense. There are a number of 4-season military tents out on the market today. This one takes quite a bit of time to set up, whereas some of the others are very quick, very simple. Some can be set up in the rain, whereas this one, the inner will get wet. It's not as bad as having a mesh body. Again, there are other tents out there. For an example, the Light Fighter Catamount tent. That thing is one burly shelter. This is, without a doubt, a burly shelter as well, but comparing this to that, it's a night and day difference. That is one hell of a military tent, and the setup process is easier than this one. And also, you can set that up in the rain, in the snow, no big deal. Before you leave, make sure to comment down below and share your thoughts about this tent. What do you all think about it? If you have one of these, what are your thoughts? What are your experiences with it? By the way, the setup instructions for this video work with each version of this tent. It doesn't matter which company made it. Speaking of which, I know of 3 different companies who have made this tent. Eureka, Diamond Brand, and also Light Fighter. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Everybody take care, be well, strength and honor. Look for the test night episode with this tent. Oh yeah, there may even be multiple test night episodes. This tent is going to go through a lot of testing, and that's coming up soon. So folks, be well, strength and honor. Talk to you soon.